You may or may not have seen some buzz online that, James Gunn might be doing a Gotham City Sirens movie, right? But that's a bit misleading, that buzz or that leap people are making in logic, because the genesis of that, possibility came from a Hollywood Reporter article titled James Gunn and the Future of DC After the Suicide Squad. And in that article, the writer just put forth the idea or the opinion that James Gunn would be a great person to bring Gotham City Sirens to the big screen. They never said that James Gunn is going to do that, or there are discussions for him maybe doing that specific movie. James Gunn himself hasn't been saying, I might be doing a Gotham City Sirens movie, not that I've seen. If he has said that and I missed it, put it in the comments. But I think people are like taking that and running with it and like, he might do a Gotham City Sirens movie, even though nobody has officially confirmed that he's thinking about that or Warner Brothers is thinking about him doing it. It's just this Hollywood Reporter writer saying that would be a cool idea. Now, I'm not saying I'm against James Gunn doing a Gotham City Sirens movie or series or HBO Max series, but I don't want to you to get all your hopes up that, this might happen when I'm not sure that it is, because we don't really have much evidence of it, except someone saying they think it might be cool. Now, I like the way James Gunn handled Harley Quinn in The Suicide Squad, mainly because he gave her a little storyline to feature her, to show the character off, but he made sure in that movie to give other characters room so they had time to shine too, which is something that I mentioned in my Suicide Squad review. They didn't do with Birds of Prey, right? Harley Quinn was dominating Birds of Prey so much because she's a popular character that the other birds didn't have much to do. Well, they did have some things to do, but they didn't really focus and get the spotlight like they should. So I think that if James Gunn did do a Gotham City Sirens movie, he would understand that, it's not just a Harley Quinn movie. Catwoman and Poison Ivy should be equal leads to Harley Quinn, which I almost felt that, I did feel that Black Canary and Huntress should have been co-leads with Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn and not her backup dancers. So in that respect, I do think James Gunn has the right narrative storytelling sensibilities to balance the screen time, to handle, all three women, Poison Ivy, Catwoman, and Harley Quinn equally in a Gotham City Sirens movie. But that's just my opinion, right? I know these days a lot of people might get upset if they were to have a male director do a movie starring 3 female leads, unless he had a female co-writer or something, because that's how it is these days. In the old days, I guess, I don't know, at least, not too far away. I think 10 or 15 years ago, no one would have had a problem with a male director doing a movie with 3 female leads like this. But these days, I think they'd have a problem. Unless James Gunn, had a female writer or co-writer or whatever, then they'd be cool with it. I wouldn't care if James Gunn was doing a Gotham City Sirens movie and it was just him, writing and directing it, but, I'm not everybody. So that is something that he and Warner Brothers would have to worry about. I guess the PR, how that would look, if, he was going to do a movie like that. But, I'm not sure, what more James Gunn's going to do with DC at a big budget, because The Suicide Squad cost a lot of money, and while it did pretty good on streaming, it didn't make that much at the box office. So Warner Brothers might be a little shy about giving James Gunn another DC movie with a huge budget. Because while that movie was critically reviewed and good, it did underperform slightly. Although, we're in a pandemic, right? There were reasons why that movie underperformed, and, it came out on streaming at the same time. So maybe, they'll be grading James Gunn on a bit of a curve, yeah, the movie underperformed, but it's not your fault, James. Here's another $185 million budget movie. Maybe that'll happen. I'm thinking it probably won't. But, James Gunn will probably do more DC stuff just with a smaller budget. So I think, that Gotham City Sirens, if he were able to do it on a smaller budget, that would be a good opportunity. It would be more likely to happen, right? And I actually think Gotham City Sirens would be a cheaper movie to make, because the only, between Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, and Catwoman, the only person who has superpowers is Poison Ivy. So they could just, use her for all the VFX budget, just pour it into Poison Ivy, and that shouldn't be too expensive if it's only one character. I guess it would depend on who the villain is. Who are the Gotham City Sirens fighting? Is that someone with powers too or not? I think it maybe should be somebody like the Joker, right? Because I think a lot of people would like to see Harley and Joker in the same movie again. I know Harley Quinn is a popular character, but a lot of the movies featuring her haven't really been doing that well, because I think as much as people like seeing Harley, I think people like seeing Harley the most when she's sharing some kind of dynamic with the Joker. Even if they're not together, per se, in a relationship, there's a lot of unfinished business between those two characters in the DCEU we haven't seen yet, right? We saw them for the first time together in the first Suicide Squad in 2016. And then fast forward in Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn and the Joker have broken up and she's trying to get away from him. We didn't get to see that journey, right? How did they go from having a relationship where she really liked him and he liked her to, oh, I hate the Joker, I want to break up with him and get away from him, right? I want to emancipate myself from him, right? Birds of Prey was all about her emancipation from him, but we didn't get to see in between her wanting to leave him and when she liked being with him, apparently, right? When she was basically a Joker groupie. And so I think there's a lot of storytelling that we've missed because DC skipped over a lot of stuff with her and him. So maybe the villain in Gotham City Sirens, if they make it, should be the Joker. And we should finally see, you know, the unfinished dynamic, the unfinished business between the two of them play out. But anyways, those are my 2 cents on a Gotham City Sirens movie and James Gunn's involvement in it. But what do you think? Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like it on YouTube and subscribe to the channel because I appreciate your viewership, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.